This is Catherine Pascuzzo, founder and CEO of Swank Creative Inc. And you are watching Digital Marketing Happy Hour. And we have Kyle here from Guest Getter as a special guest to help us and our conversation about paid advertising. So welcome, Kyle.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm just so excited. We have West Coast Ethos, we have the local picnic, we have World Tree, we have Jess Wageman and Whole Homes, and then Allie Hampton Real Estate joining us today. And so yes, everyone, if you've just popped in, pop your Instagram handle into the chat, and we'll all follow each other and see how everything's going online and continue the conversation after today. Today's topic is paid advertising. And the question came from Rachel from Evo, and she was wondering what channel to choose, like what channel to start with paid advertising. And we'll get into that. But I just want to know here, is anyone running paid advertising campaigns right now? I know Allie's run a few, but has anyone else tried paid campaigns, Google or social media or programmatic or anywhere? And I might be speaking a little bit of gibberish right now for people that don't know.
I've run some paid ads through Instagram, but that's it. I haven't looked at my analytics or haven't really delved super deep into them.
Excellent.
And I haven't done it in over a year, so it's been a while.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there for a lot of you guys to start taking advantage of this now that you've really, a lot of you have established your websites, you've grown your email list, and you're getting subscribers organically and offering some really incredible content that people will be really interested to engage with once they visit your website. Yeah, okay. So, and if you haven't yet, why not? I'm looking at the local picnic. What might be the hesitation?
So I have done some in the past, just through Facebook and Instagram, more so through Instagram. And I found last year, it was really effective and it did really well. And some of them I had just little trickle ones just to continue to increase followers and gain new customers and that type of thing. And then in the last year or so, I would say it hasn't been as effective, and I may be doing it wrong. I don't know, before it seemed more simple, you just put a paid ad and you'd get a lot of engagement, and the engagement definitely did not seem what it was before. I had tried for events and I had also tried for just brand awareness, and they just seemed to not be producing as much as they had in the past. And so I just kind of haven't done any recently. So
and you launched your business during a time where it was during lockdown, wasn't it? And so it was very affordable to run paid ads, and also a lot of people were online. It was a really great time to be running paid campaigns. It had never been more affordable for me when I was working in real estate development. It was just made it so affordable and so easy to get access. Yeah, and then I'm curious to I would be curious to look into the analytics and see what's happening. But also you're a brand new business too. So there was that, what is this? Curiosity. Yeah, interesting. So something petering out. Campaigns can peter out too. Okay. And then yeah, so I'm going to hand it over to Kyle with a question prompt.
Hit me.
How do you know which channel to start with?
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a right answer, but my inclination would be to begin with Facebook and Instagram.
Mhm.
And the reason for that is because they kind of pioneered the social ad platform. So like they if you can get something to sing on those platforms, you're then very well equipped to go on to TikTok or, you know, even Snapchat or whatever, because they're all basically modeling Facebook. So or Meta or whatever you want to call it. And so my inclination would be to start there. That's also my inclination because I'm a bit more of like a creative mind, and I love that I can, you know, sort of lead with creativity, and especially as I consider the entire journey of my customer or guest in the case of restaurants. I like to engineer that journey on Facebook and Instagram because it's like kind of more fun. The other side of the spectrum is search marketing on, you know, Google Ads. And I actually see no I maybe take this with a grain of salt, but I see no reason why you couldn't dive into both, because like maybe start with low budgets, because the beautiful thing about search marketing is it's people who have intent, right? Like that's the magic word in search marketing, is people who actually have intent. They're in market, they're searching for what you have to offer, they're at like the bottom of the funnel. So that's like a great time for you to, you know, if if you're a I don't know. What's like an example of like, what's a business? There's a real estate or something.
Massage
Massage.
therapist.
Yeah, it's like that's a great time to nudge someone over the edge by making them an offer or something like a free, you know, 90-day roadmap or whatever. I don't know. But like because they're actually looking. And then the other cool thing about also Facebook and Google play really well together too. Like I'm sure we'll get into retargeting and stuff like that. But one thing you can do, I'm sorry, like just cut me off because I could probably just like go on forever. But
Yeah.
like you can build retargeting audiences on Facebook and Instagram based off of people who clicked a Google ad. So you capture that high intent audience and then you show stuff to them on, you know, other platforms. And that I just think like it's insane. Like I think that paid ads is like a natural wonder of the internet. Like it's insane that you can do these things. But I digress. I think I'll end it there.
And I think to your point, starting with social, you can really get into the psyche of your client. You can see who they are, and who's converting, and get into crafting the messaging and what those keywords are, and build really powerful campaigns. And then when we were talking about you joining us for this discussion, you mentioned, because I had always kind of thought, oh, test your creative with your organic audience. But then you kind of blew my mind in saying, you can, if you need an audience right away, you can pay and you can run a paid campaign and have access to thousands of people. And there's your like qualitative, like, or quantitative data, and to actually get I just kind of was like, yeah, like if you don't have a large audience to start off with, launching with paid ads gives you that audience to start looking at what is actually working, what messaging and what keywords, and you can learn a lot through running a paid campaign.
Yeah, like with this stuff, you either pay in time or you pay in money. And the beautiful thing about like advertising at the local level is because the platforms are auctions, and the competition at the local level is like it's not great. So like you can get ungodly amounts of attention and awareness for like pennies on the dollar, you know, just compared to say like a big ass e-commerce brand or like Coca-Cola. Like, you know, these guys are like you're going to be much harder pressed to compete with them. But at the local level, it's you know, you can do very well. And so yeah, I like this strategy of testing things with organic. I think though that in order for you to get a good amount of momentum, you have to be prolific. To like, you have to be like posting like once or twice a day or maybe even more. And then, you know, at the end of the week, you can look back and see, oh, like this post really hit it off. And then you can pump that into your ads. But a lot of local business I find are like, they're not posting that much. And so if that's the strategy you're going to take, it's just going to take you, I think, too long to get the data. Whereas on the other hand, you can build a decent, you could like build a decent campaign and intend for that sucker to run for like a quarter even, because you can engineer the whole thing, right? Like you can have a top of the funnel campaign, a middle of funnel campaign, a bottom of the funnel campaign, and you can like just have, like, I just look at it like a beautiful like symphony, a machine, and like it, yeah. So anyways, that's that it really is like a laboratory, like you go in there and you get data so fast, and you can make decisions, and you gather intelligence so much quicker. So I like, yeah, the idea that, oh, I need to like wait for a while before I run paid ads. I mean, unless you're like, I to be honest with you, I think when I hear that, I see it as like a bit of a symptom of like limiting beliefs, because I want to get my stuff out there like fast. I want to serve my community and customers, and paid ads is like, it's going to help you get there much faster than most organic strategies will. But, and they also marry together very well too. So yeah. So does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think knowing that I think everyone, at least here, has a website. They have an email subscription form. They are offering additional content and special events, and like there's a lot to engage with. So once you have those basic things set up, and your Google business profile set up, and have established your brand and done all those little SEO things, it's time to try, if you have the capacity to take on more clients.
I might even challenge that a little and say, even if you don't have your website and everything dialed in, like hit the platforms, because to be honest, I'm always thinking about, okay, I must align my incentives with the platforms, because then we both win, right? Like their incentive is to keep people there as long as possible, and my incentive is for my campaigns to be profitable, right? So like, on Facebook and Instagram, you can run lead ads, you can build instant experiences, which are just these things where you can build messenger ads where people don't need to leave the platform at all. You can start conversations today, with people who you could be doing business with tomorrow or even today, so it's like, they're super powerful. Yeah. So I just had to say that.
Yeah. I'm thinking a West Coast Ethos who does mobile massage therapy, and if you are stuck on your kitchen floor because of your sore back, Sean can come to you. And wouldn't that be great, just to not even have to go through the website, but to be able to like
yeah. Oh man, that's that's interesting. Like am I allowed, I can just like go riff on stuff like because I feel like, yeah, it's different for every business, right? Like because like someone like a massage therapist or like chiropractor or something like that, I feel like that would be really good to start maybe on search, because people have these like hair on fire problems. They're like, oh, my back's killing me. Like, boom, I mean, you can target like back pain, location is Victoria. Maybe like, sorry, I'm just sort of I'm like coming back to my earlier answer to your question of which platform to start on. Maybe if it's like, if you serve like a real, there are very tangible, concrete problems that people have, maybe that's a case to start on search. And if you're more like, like a local retail, restaurant or something like that, maybe I'd probably start on the more like attention, like the interruption based platforms like Facebook and Instagram. That's more of a theory than anything. So anyways, I digress.
Yeah. Like, right. Like this really demonstrates the type of business, the type of offering. You need to be strategic about it. And right, like I am so likely to just, whatever Alana posts about a women in business event, I'm like on my Instagram feed scrolling, and I just go, yep, booked, got my ticket, see you next week. right? I'm not searching where's the next women's business networking event. I'm just not. But if I'm like, oh, I need a massage, and I just Google like RMT massage therapists and like try and figure out who has the earliest appointment that I can get, right? And then that's where like West Coast Ethos what could really benefit from some more immediate yeah, I might not be as likely to convert if I'm not needing that service right away.
Can I think because just like
Yeah.
is that it made me think though when you said like if there's a really specific thing, right? So if it's back pain, like you're stuck on the floor, my hubby will come to you, and like he's literally had that before where
Yeah.
he's like helped people up and done some work on the floor so they can actually be moving again.
Mhm.
But because we can tailor it, like I so see how that would work in Google search. But if we're doing something that's like a couple's experience, say for Valentine's Day that's coming up, like I so get how that
Yeah.
that would be more Facebook is how I would see that piece of it, that it would be that pop-up of things. So thank you for that around like the type of campaign that's being run.
Yeah. Because people might not be searching like massage therapy Valentine's Day gift. Like that might not be what they're searching, but if it came up on a Facebook feed, it would be like, oh, thank goodness, here's my solution for what to get for Valentine's. Yeah, I'm excited about that offer. Kyle, do you want to get into what you were talking about? You kind of have a process. Oh, and then Denise did have a question about define low budget, and I was really excited about your answer, Kyle. Because
what's the question?
What is low budget? How low can you go?
It depends on a few things, obviously, but like, I mean, look, at the local level, I often run campaigns for restaurants at like $10 a day. You know, it's and then I'll run like so we'll target people with upcoming birthdays or anniversaries or you know retargeting audiences, and or I also run campaigns called blanket awareness where it's like they'll have a happy hour or something, and I just want to like I call them habit forming campaigns where I want people to see that ad at the same time, you know, every day when they're like thinking, oh, like I gotta go get a drink or whatever, right? Yeah. Many of those campaigns are like $2 or $3 a day. So like, it's not a lot. And then if I'm, you know, running top of the funnel campaigns for, does that make sense when I say top funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel? Is that, people know what that, is that like jargony or does that make sense?
I have a really great metaphor and I'm just going to say it because there will be people watching that don't know what that means, but you're looking at a funnel. And so there's people driving their car down the road, looking at the billboard, right? They don't know about you. They don't know about their business. They're not thinking about what your business is even offering or even looking for it, but they see your brand on the side of the highway. And that can be like Facebook too. You're showing up on their feed or Instagram feed, right? They're not looking for you. They don't know anything about you, and they might not need what you're offering or know they need it. Yeah. And then as you drill down, they get to know you, they need your offer, they're registered for your email or they whatever, and then they at the bottom of the funnel they've converted, right? They've fallen through.
Yeah. Excuse me. Exactly. And so like what I like, and I didn't always do this smart, like I wasn't so strategic when I started with ads. Like I would just be like, oh, like, so, you know, just a little bit of background. I started running ads because I started a bartending school in Victoria. And so that was like my playground. And at first I'd just be like, it'd just be like a picture of a bartender. And then it'd be like, oh, like come to our bar school, and I'd send them right to our sales page. Which, you know, that's like seeing an attractive person being like, let's get married, you know, right away. And so now what I do at the top of the funnel is I lead with education, and I'll run like video views campaigns, and I still run, you know, $10 a day, but we get like like many views. So So yeah, it depends on the objective of the campaign. Like if I was running, you know, $10 a day and looking for leads on my website, it would take probably honestly many days for me to get a single lead. And so that's kind of where it's like, it really depends on your budget. If I could, you know, if I could spend like 200, 300, 400 bucks a day, I might, you know, I could start getting those leads in faster, but also my ads will fatigue, which is totally normal. They'll fatigue faster, which isn't a bad thing. It's just an indicator. Okay, I need to put new wrapping paper on this and cycle in some new media so that I'm not like burning the audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think you're looking at Victoria, if you're looking at a local audience, like it's not expensive to reach 3,700 people. Like say that's your audience, and then yeah, they're going to see that ad a lot, and it is going to get fatigued. So you do have to change up the creative, and I've been advised to do it every 2 to 3 weeks of a campaign. I don't know if that kind of falls in line with you too, but it's just so likely because of the small population of our city that you're going to reach them. And you could reach them every day with the same ad, and you'll get that fatigue. But yeah,
I mean, it really you know, it's in terms of like rotating creative in and out, and like the, you know, the kind of 2-week thing, again, that like you know, you just want to be looking at the metric I look at is frequency. And if I see that kind of that frequency is getting up, I start to get a little funny when it gets past like 5. If someone is seeing an ad, you know, if they've seen the same ad 5 times, and this is like totally arbitrary, maybe they need to see it. Like I know that they need to see stuff from us like dozens of times before they're ready to make a decision, but it definitely shouldn't be the same thing every single time. But like, just to, you know, give you an example, I just started a brand new, like, just to kind of give you some real data. I just started running a brand new video views campaign. I've spent $9.80, and the video has been seen 3,245 times in one day. So you know, like this isn't, it's not a trivial amount of attention compared to the amount of money, you know, I spend. Like consider, you know, if someone got 3,245 views in one day on like a YouTube video, that'd be like, you know, that'd be really impressive, unless they're already prolific, super established. But like for most local small businesses, they're
somebody that doesn't have a single YouTube subscriber. That's incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. Did I answer your question, or did I just go on a sidebar?
We were talking about like low budget and just like how much of an local audience you can reach really afford.
Yeah. I think of, in my head, I think of low budget like $3 to $10 a day for a campaign, which is like, it's not a lot of money in my head.
And
can I ask a question on that, Kyle, on that example that you gave?
Sure.
How specific did you get to that audience for that video view campaign? Like, is it relatively broad, or do you get right down to like postal codes and that kind of thing?
So I love that question because especially at the local level, I start at the top of funnel super broad, because it's so funny, right? A lot of people are like, oh, like, what is your interest, you know, targeting, what are their interests? And we want to target their interests, where I'm just like, I don't know what their interests are. Like, I want them to tell me. And this is probably like, again, another natural wonder aspect of this. We can build retargeting audiences. So now what I can do is I can build audiences of people who actually watched the entirety of my video. And so they are demonstrating that their interest based on their behavior. I'm not guessing, because I don't know anything. And like, you know, the more I go into marketing, the more I realize I just know nothing. Like, so I have to look at I have to just let the data tell me. And that's, you know, that's what I love about paid ads is you can get super granular, and that data will tell you, it's like signposts. It tells you kind of where to go. Whereas with organic, I find it it's like it's just kind of like a crapshoot, and you never know like what the platform's going to do, the algorithm, blah blah blah. So yeah, so that's like at the top of the funnel. I go very broad. For restaurants or like actual brick and mortar locations, I'll go broad. No, I honestly, I've rarely touched the interest feature. But I will put a pin down in their location, and you like, if it's like that blanket awareness campaign where it's like, okay, happy hour is coming up, I'll target, sometimes as little as like 2 kilometers away from them, or even 1. You can go down as narrow as 1. So yeah, I generally, so it's primarily broad. Location can be quite specific. Age, I let that fly pretty broad as well, unless it's like, really obvious that, it's like I don't know, it's like a seniors joint, which I don't even think that's the thing, but like, yeah, so that's, yeah, I primarily run broad so that I reach as many people, and then I can narrow it down as I bring them down the funnel based on what they're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks. That's perfect.
Yeah, I think the answer is, if you don't know your audience, don't make assumptions. But if you do know your audience, and like, that it's, like a 19 plus only place, or if there's some sort of age restriction on an apartment building or something like that, you don't want to be paying to show your ad to people that can't convert. So you can exclude, right? Yeah, right. And I, like, for example, for a certain home style, I know that people, the majority of the audience under 35 won't be able to qualify for a mortgage or at that level. So we would exclude that audience, just to have more of our budget going to that general audience that can definitely, is more likely to actually be qualified. But yeah, they're so powerful. The way they optimize their ads. I've read blog upon blog or resource upon resource that says, just leave it to them. Just don't try and define your audience. They will optimize it for you. They want your ads converting qualified traffic as much as you do.
Yeah. And the other thing is like, I'd far rather my copy and creative be like a dog whistle or a beacon for the people I most want to serve than, like this machine. Well, I mean, it's really smart, but like Facebook and Instagram, it's machine learning. It's like, it's an optimization machine. So it's going to do a lot of that work for you. And so I don't want to give it too many guardrails, like based on what I think, because it's way smarter than I am. I want to, like, for the most part, let it roll. And because our incentives are aligned, it's going to continue to find people that like are taking the actions that are, that I wanted to take, if that makes sense. It really is like, it's very, very smart, machine learning. And so yeah, I'm really like, and especially for, local business owners, most of us aren't media buyers, right? We're not like that is a job. There are people who live in Facebook Ads Manager 10 hours a day, and that is all they do. Okay. We're like, so, not only are we not experts at the platform, we're also not like machines that have gazillions of, data points to make decisions based off of. So that's why I'd encourage you to, like, don't give it too many guardrails, like leave it like pretty broad and open, especially at the local level. So yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about, if you have a question, pop it into the chat. But do we want to talk about what, like, advertising content, or like what comes next? So you've decided that you want to run a campaign, and some optimizations that can happen, and that. part of it?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So like content, like as in what to kind of like put in your ads, or
Yeah, like
well,
yeah, you
what
mentioned creating an offer or something.
okay. Why don't I just like I'll share, like for example, the way I look at building a campaign for my own business. Does that sound good? So like I mentioned that top of the funnel, right? I generally want those to be videos, and the videos don't need to be fancy. Mine are pretty they're decent, but they're simple. It's like me just making some friggin' drinks, and kind of like teaching as I go, right? And so I think we all there are either like stories or there's education that we can offer our audience. And so that's what I do. I have like a series of videos, and they're in one campaign that I call Tofu, top of funnel. And I'm optimizing either for video views or post engagement. Again, the point here isn't for me to like make a sale. It is for me to warm up the market and kind of like start to get people like, because think about it, right? Like these are cold audiences. They've never heard of me. They don't know me from Adam. And so I want to come in and just offer some value, right? Like, I think this is another point, right? Like a lot when I'm speaking with a lot of prospects, like my potential clients, they're like, oh, I hate ads. I'm just like, well, you hate ads because most of them suck, but just because most of them suck doesn't mean that yours are going to suck, right? Like, and so if we think of advertising like it's a service, it's an extension of our service, right? It's our first impression in many cases. Well, like, let's make that a sick first impression. And so yeah, so the top of the funnel for me is usually like a video where I'm sharing some kind of an insight. And then right after I build that campaign, I make sure I go into the audiences section of ads of the like ecosystem, and I make sure that I'm building an audience of people who watch those videos. So that's kind of my top of the funnel. When we get into the middle of the funnel, I show this campaign to people who've either watched those videos or they've been to my bartending school's sales page. Okay. Not that hard to do. It sounds fancy, right? Like you just install a little code on your site. You go on Fiverr or whatever, get someone to do it for you for cheap. And then in audiences, you build a custom audience. You say website, and then you go to the next step. And then you just say anyone who's been to this page. And then you just like insert like that little piece of your URL so anyways, little techie, but it's not that hard. And then so this middle of the funnel audience, what I want to show them is I want to show them evidence or proof that other people that were like a real business, like other people have gotten results from what we like, basically testimonials. So and that could take the form of like literally like, hey, it's me, Carl, I took the Nimble Bar school and it was awesome, or whatever, right? Like just, selfie testimonial videos. It's testimony videos I've shot of students. It's also case studies from some students. Like one guy won a cocktail competition. So he like shared how he did that. That goes to a blog, right? So I'm still softening the market here. I'm starting to get them to engage with the website a little bit. But I really just want to show the market that there is proof out there, right? Like we're not, so, and then finally at the bottom of the funnel, this is where I get into offers. Like now I'm like, okay, people have seen some stuff, they've engaged with it, blah, 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 blah. Now it's time to start, getting you to take an action. And man, like I really like one of my favorite sayings when it comes to paid media or like just business in general is a lot of people think that they have a traffic problem. They do not have a traffic problem. They have an offer problem, right? Like if you need traffic, you just go to the traffic store. Okay. And that's Facebook, Instagram, Google. You just go there and you just buy the traffic. But it's up to the offer to, then do the heavy lifting to turn that traffic into something meaningful for our business, revenue, customers, profit. And so at the offer stage, like I say this because you get creative with your offers. I love that massage, Valentine's Day thing. That's awesome, right? Like it's such a wonderful way for us to kind of be self-expressed in our business, I think. And yeah, so get creative, you know, so like, I'll give you some examples of offers we run. One is like an 8-minute ask me anything call about, you know, your bartending career. We'll help you get the next best step. What is the outcome of, you know, of your offer? And so for them, it's like having clarity around what the next best step is. Okay, next is well, we have this like rinky dink cocktail course called Essential Cocktail Formulas. It's not rinky dink, but like it's a short course of like, you know, the 6 most influential classic cocktails. Normally it's $27. But if you know, take action today, you want to like find out more if this is for you, you use this coupon code and get it for $7 or $1 even. I don't care. It's not about making money. It's about, at that point, now we're starting to like, I would like some leads, you know, I'd like some actual leads, building that email list. And then finally, my last offer that I'm testing these days is including a complimentary cocktail kit in their tuition. So if they buy today, we'll include this $180 value kit in your tuition. So it's value additive. And yeah, so yeah, that's basically like how I look at the entire funnel when it comes to building these ads. I hope I didn't make it sound too complicated, because it's really not. It's just like three campaigns. You could even do it in, if you wanted to like simplify it even more, you could just do a top of funnel campaign, and then you could do a middle / bottom of funnel campaign, and just put those two in the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I'm interesting to put that lens on like, okay, so for a realtor, what could that look like? For the local picnic, what could that look like? Right. And it's interesting to get samples of that when
What's a local picnic?
Oh, this is so good. Alana, tell Kyle what the local picnic is.
We do locally curated charcuterie boards and picnic experiences. So we team up with other local businesses in the area and do like paddle-in picnics or paint-in picnics or all different kinds of heart-centered experiences. So our mission is to support as many local businesses as possible through feeding people.
And it's awesome. It's mostly like local ingredients, local vendors, just supporting local. And and I've had Alana cater a couple of my events, and it's just so great because everyone gets their own little individualized little charcuterie, and it's so good. We love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, like, do you guys want to like riff on what a full funnel campaign would look like? And I fully, you know, no, I don't know. I do think like the more full funnel minded you can be, the better things do perform. Because I was about to say like, you could just have a series of, you know, awareness ads. But I actually think like if you warm the market up by, you know, sharing about the nuances of one of your meats, or who is the, you know, who are the proprietors of the, you know, whoever like cured the meat or whatever, you know, like just kind of educating, like leading with education. And the beautiful thing about paid ads is one of my favorite sayings from Ogilvy is, he said, "You're advertising to a moving parade, not a standing army." So what I mean by that is, you can build this sucker once, and it's not like organic content where you're just like, oh fuck, like every day, okay, like what am I going to post today? Oh, like, and it's just this like hamster wheel. You can build a full campaign and you can let it run for you for a while. I've had campaigns that have run for like over a year because they're still bringing in customers, you know? So like, and it gives you a longer term view, right? And it gives you the space to create more of a journey, as opposed to like posting. It's like, oh, it's time to post, you know, so yeah, like if at the top of that funnel, it was like, you know, sharing kind of like about your products and the people who make them. And I think that'd be a beautiful way to kind of lead. And then you get to the middle of the funnel, and then you're like, maybe you share like a picnic story, or like you capture someone's picnic, or you get some of your customers to take pictures of their experience, and then, you know, include like a little testimonial, right? So you're showing the market the proof and the evidence through the eyes of your customers. And at the bottom of the funnel, you start talking about offers. Well, hey guys, like, you know, like, I mean, you're not going to say, I know you've seen my stuff, but you could say, you know, basically like it seems like you're interested in this. So if you, you know, if we'd like to, maybe it's some sort of consultative thing where it's like, you know, we want to, your perfect picnic blueprint or something like that, and you get together and you say, so in this call we're gonna map out your dream picnic, and then, you know, I have no idea, but like you just create some sort of value added offer, and then, you know, and then Bob's your friggin' uncle. Anyways, I'm just spitballing, I don't know.
Yeah. And when you're thinking about content, I had a client call this morning and they're like, how do we tell people what we do and why, and how do we get them to show up? And I'm like, you don't tell them what you do. You tell them what they're gonna get as a result. And it doesn't just mean like tickets to a show or food at a restaurant. It's an experience, and it needs to be emotive, and it needs to be transformative, right?
Yeah, or better yet, your customers share their experience, and your customers sing your praises. You like the best copy ever isn't the copy that comes from your head, it's the copy that comes from the mouths of your customers.
Right.
Right.
That was exactly the conversation. They're like, we want you to write the most impressive copy. And I'm like, that's going to come from our customer survey and some qualitative conversations. And oh, by the way, that Facebook post you did after the event, thanking for everybody for attending, had 5 comments right there saying exactly what that experience did for them and how wonderful it was. So yeah, listen to your customers. And that's why it's really powerful to go to trade shows too. Sean was at the health show this weekend and he did a talk, and there's the women's show coming up as well. But if you're really wanting to craft your messaging, you have to either go to social or get yourself in front of your customers and actually having conversations with them. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So cool. This is so great. Does anybody have any more questions about?
I have one more comment. That's all right. Do you ever count on paid advertising for direct sales? Like, is your bottom of the funnel for lead curation, or is it do you ever use it specifically for sales? That's one of the, or you know, get the lead through ads and then count on your email marketing to actually get the sales. I'm curious if you do that.
Yeah, so so for restaurants, right? Like for restaurants, I kind of go for the kill. And so that sounds terrible. I go for the sale. And the way I tend to lead with an offer for restaurants, and then what I do is when you and like I'm kind of moving away from this, to be honest with you. I'm like, because it's a bit like I can do it for my own business because that's like I, you know, whereas restaurants, it's like let's get results a little faster. But as I work with clients, I'm starting to build more of this top of the funnel content with them so that we can engineer more of this journey. But historically, for the most part, I lead with an offer, because the other thing about, well, my view here is changing, but I used to think, you know, bars and restaurants, they're not like, it's food, right? Like it's, you know, it's like we literally all have to have it. So it's like, what's that?
It's low risk. You're like, chances are someone's going to spend $25 on.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, what I do is I help bars and restaurants come up with what I call magnetic goodwill offers. They're magnetic because they, you know, they reel people in, but they're also, the other thing is that like a lot of restaurants to be like, I'm not going to make an offer, and I never suggest discounting. I just like, I literally say, do you believe that when people have something from your restaurant that they're going to like it so much that they're going to return again? And if the answer is no, then fix that first. We shouldn't run any ads. But if the answer is yes, then be confident in it and give something away. Like, and in the process, you build goodwill in the marketplace. Like that is honestly probably what I think of first, is like, if I put this out, am I building goodwill, right? Like because one of my favorite sayings from this guy, Frank Kern, he says, saturate the market in goodwill. If you just pummel the market in goodwill, like I mean, so long as you're not like spending stupidly or something like that, or, being super wasteful, like you long term, that to me is a recipe for just like you'll win, and the market will win too. And so I'll create that offer with them. And again, for restaurants, it's usually something pretty simple, like a buy one, get one, or, get a free this, free that. And the other thing is that they're going to pay for those customers to come through their doors anyways. So you can either pay in your cost of goods in that product, or you can just, sure, we can run a shitty offer and just spend way more in ad spend to get people to actually take action. I would far rather it be in the product than like in the ad spend. I want the ads to be hyper efficient. So, and then what I do is, it's like a barter. It's not like, I don't just give the offer out willy-nilly to anyone. It's like, oh, I mean, as you guys know, if you want this, well, I'm going to put you through a chat sequence using a tool called ManyChat. I'm going to get your name, phone number, email, birthday. And I'm also asking for, are you a business owner or not? Because then I can put them into like a special event / catering funnel. And then from there, they then just bring that offer on their phone and they show it to the, the clerk or server or whatever. And then, we have them click a button, and then we ask what their check total was. So it's kind of a full funnel approach. And then we also have like, reminder messages and like a post redemption survey, generating more like positive reviews and asking how their experience was, and a few other bells and whistles. But yeah, so for restaurants, I do, we're kind of just saying, here's an offer, here's a deadline, and then they're also getting a little deadline sequence to nudge them over the edge. So it's like a pretty like comprehensive system. But I like, that's, we're kind of starting at the bottom of the funnel there. If we were to make it, and we are doing this with some clients, we're getting stories from the owner, we're doing like interview style videos with them where they're sharing their ideals, their philosophy, the story, what they love about the community, blah, 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 blah. And then, this one's hard. I haven't cracked the nut on this, but I want to share guest experiences and like, and what their transformation is, how they went from, oh, I never knew about this place and I went there and now I'm there every week. Right. Like, but then it's like, okay, like I got to ask the restaurant owner, and then, so I haven't quite cracked that nut, but this is absolutely the direction we're taking it. So that was a super long-winded way of saying, yes, I have run things, straight for a sale. And I've also done it on e-commerce, in the e-commerce world as well. So, and yeah, the philosophy when I used to work at like a media buying agency where, yeah, that was all we did. And it would always be like, you got to start with conversion campaigns, like going for the sale, because we want to see if we can get that sale as early as possible. And I really think that ends up costing people a lot of money. Because sure, yeah, you can get sales, but I don't believe it's sustainable, right? Like, whereas if I really put myself in the prospect and the customer's shoes and think, how would I want to how would I want to meet me, basically, and kind of take them through that journey and lead them, take a leadership role in it. To be honest, it just feels better. Like feels better than just being like, buy my shit. So that's
yeah. Do you remember Groupon? Is that still a thing?
I feel like they probably got bought by somebody or something.
I don't know what happened to Groupon, but like you could get killer deals on it. But then I would never, like, we went and experienced shabu shabu for the first time at this great Japanese restaurant that was otherwise empty. We were the only people in there in a supply mall, and I knew they like were desperate if they were posting their stuff on Groupon.
Yeah, business owners, I think, hated Groupon.
It's terrible. And
Yeah.
they were aggressive. I worked at a science center and they were calling us every month saying like, want to do a group on it? And it's like, no, we don't want to discount our offering. we're not for profit to start off with. So and that's where I learned my lesson about not setting a precedent on pricing and instead not asking a discount, not offering a discount at your first introduction to a customer, but offering something as an add-on. And so, for example, with West Coast Ethos, my advice was to add a 15-minute service on if they had a client referral. Just something that's an add-on to a purchase that they're already making, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I also think Groupon didn't let you own the data it captured for you. So, and that's exactly what I like. I'm a proponent of the whole Gary Vee, like, we're all media businesses, we're all in the media business. So and I want to own my own distribution. So I help restaurants when someone opts in, I don't keep that data like the restaurant does. They own it. It literally becomes an asset that accrues into the value. Like it literally makes their business more valuable because they can actually reach their customers in a way that's not like the rented land of organic social media where we don't own anything. Instagram can do whatever it wants. It can show my stuff to lots of people or to nobody. Does not matter how many followers I have. It could also go away tomorrow. So I want to build up my email and SMS list. Like that's priority, top priority.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're running paid campaigns, make sure you're collecting email addresses and getting subscribers. And then after that, it's free. You've got their contact information and you can contact them.
And also I'd say like email, SMS, and I also kind of consider my retargeting audience. That's kind of an asset as well. It's, it's another way for me to follow up and show up for my prospects and customers like nobody else. So
and you still have to set, it's been years since I've been and I'm not sure how it works for real estate, but I think for retargeting, you need a certain minimum number of website visitors to actually be able to advertise. Is that true? Am I crazy?
They usually recommend like at least 1,000 people in the audience size. But no, you can upload a customer list and it might not be 1,000 people. You can still target it. The platform will tell you it's not the most effective, but and I will say it'd probably be not that effective if you're building lookalike audiences off of it. Which is another cool thing you can do. Like if you have a customer list, you could even take your top 10% highest spending customers, especially based on lifetime value. You can turn that into a custom audience, and then you can build a lookalike audience based off of that. So that's sick that you can do that.
I never thought of like optimizing my retargeting list. This is just like a whole nother level. Incredible.
Fun
Thank
stuff.
you so much, Kyle. That was so insightful. Any last minute questions? Any last minute things? Make sure, I don't think I've put your handle in there. You've got some exciting projects coming up too, Kyle, with Bastion and stuff like that. So I'm going to have links to details of how to get in touch with Kyle if you're interested, and his offerings. And we can talk more about paid campaigns and strategy sessions with me too here at Quench. Just look for your follow-up email with a recording of this video, because I know I'm going to be watching it again too. And if you're not signed up to my e-newsletter, go to swankcreative.com/sign up and you'll get invites to the next digital marketing happy hour, invites to my quarterly networking events, and Jess Wageman and I have a workshop coming up in February that I'm so excited to tell you guys more about. And there's just so much more to come from Swank Creative. And thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.